the graduate students, one of the things we implemented with SMED, and we have the chair of SMED here, Dr. Francesca Williams, is a mentoring program. And we encourage our students to give back. And so I'm hoping through Joshua's speech to you, you too will be encouraged to give back and become a mentor. And really, if you really want to grow, plant some seeds. And that's what mentoring allowed me to do. And when you plant those seeds and they grow, they push you up. And I always tell students and people that I mentor, if you close your hand, what can you put in my hand? Nothing. But if you open that hand and give back, then folks can put things in your hand to help you grow. Joshua, since graduating and even while he was in the program, he is the epitome of what mentoring is all about, giving back and helping students. So I'm going to let Joshua take the podium.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr.John-Paul. I graduated last summer. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the symposium, and I feel very honored to share my experience before you all. While I was thinking about the symposium, I know all of us are here to share our ideas, share our knowledge with fellow researchers, but at the same time, one key question that we must be always thinking while we are doing our research in university is what is the purpose of my research, and what is the potential impact of my research on the society. I noticed several presentations, several research studies that have been shared in the morning session. I could see the potential impact that your findings from your research will be helping or will be making a big impact on the society. That is what we need to focus always, and throughout our PhD journey, that is something we cannot forget. At times we are focused more on the numbers, statistical methods, whatnot. Definitely, of course, those are the major things, but at the same time, we need to see how it is going to help. I just want to share three of my experience when I was mentoring some of my peers or some of my classmates. The first example is like, while the student was already having the research question, I think during one of the discussion or during one of the class, the professor asked, what is the problem? What is the problem statement? And that student or the classmate was struggling to give an answer for the problem. So we all were surprised, like, how can you frame the research questions without the problem statement, right? So in order to make an impact on the society with our research work, the first thing that we need to understand is, like, what is the pressing issue in my field of study, right? So I just wanted to share a couple more examples. I think the second example was that I think one of the engineering students wanted to get some help with his research work. And I was looking at the problem statements. There were like at least 4 or 5 problems. I said, well, let's look at the research questions. When we were going through the research questions, I think he had maybe 4 or 5 research questions. All the 5 research questions did not have any connect with the problem statements. So I told him to redo the research questions, or maybe look at the problem statement, so you can rephrase or rewrite the problem statement. So it is very important that at times we fail to realize the disconnect within our research work. I think that is very important. I think the third example that I remember is one of the other researcher, I think it was graduating last year, wanted some help with Chapter 5. Chapter 5 is mostly writing the results or findings and recommendations and all that, right? So I think her professor was asking her, you need to rewrite Chapter 5. It was not, having any connections or whatnot. So the very simple idea that I gave was, okay, how does your finding address the problem that you were studying? So and then I went back, even though that was not my field of study, I think it was totally a different field. I'm into education field, but when we were going over the problem statement, then we could see a lot of connections. And I said, okay, see, the problem statements are here, and you're writing Chapter 4 and 5, and you see there are a lot of connections, but in the writing of chapter 5, that whole component was missing. So it is very, very important that we connect the dots here and there, and also how our research findings are related to the previous theories or the body of knowledge that is already there. So those are the important factors that you guys need to remember when you are indulging yourself in research endeavors. As I said already, keep this key question in your mind always: how my research is going to impact the society. Making sure that you are focusing on the pressing issues. So my journey was exploring, it is just a part of my research, was like how the student work is related with the academic success. I don't want to name the school that I did the research. My research problem was, the second grade students were continuously performing low in the exam. So if you look at the data right here, you can see the second grade students across the board for the past 1 year, throughout the years, from the diagnostic tests that were administered, you can see the circled areas, they were continuously performing low. And the district leaders or the school principals were having a lot of issues. What's really going on with the second grade, right? So this is the problem that I had for my research. And then I was thinking about like, okay, what are the issues? So how can we address this issue? So the first question, the guiding question that I had was, okay, let's start with what's going on in the classroom, right? So the student work needed to be analyzed, but at the same time, we wanted to see whether the program or the curriculum that they're following is implemented with together, right? So and then I framed the research questions based on this problem, based on the purpose, okay? So you can see the research design that I chose for my study was quantitative correlation study. I'm not going to talk about the entire study. Just the one question was like, the pressing issue was, okay, the students are doing the work, but how the completion or the successful completion of the lessons are related with the student achievement. So I did the correlation multiple regression analysis. I really don't want to go through the mathematical part of all of those. And I just want to move to the conclusion part where we could see that more completion within the classroom really helped them to score well on the test. But the interesting part that I figured out through my study was that the more time they spend, they were scoring low on the test. So that was kind of like very interesting because the more time they spend, they should be doing well on the test, right? But it was the opposite. Then we realized that they were opening the program or they were not completing the lessons. So the time that they were spending in the classroom really assisted them, but at home, probably they're just opening the program, not doing anything. So that was not related to the student achievement. So this is just one part of my study, what I did. So when these results were shown to the school leaders or the district leaders, that really helped them to understand where the issue was. So the basic point that I'm trying to make is like, focus on the pressing issues, how the findings of your research will help the society. In the field that you're in, the education field or medical field or the environment field, whatever it is. The second thing that I wanted to talk about, so the first thing is making sure that our research is making an impact. The second thing is, second advice or the suggestions or recommendation that I will give is making sure that your network is keep expanding over the period of time. So one of the issues that I had was like during the first year, I was not having like very big network of like working with my peers or working with my classmates. But over the period of time, second or third year, the more I collaborate, like Dr. Lawson mentioned, more you open up about your work, it will help you to see where the issues are, where the gaps are. That will help you to build, make a progress in your study. So making sure that you collaborate with your classmates, especially those who have the same research interests as yours, right? So my research was focusing on technology integration in the classroom. And you see, which classmates are focusing on technology. and try to see how you can collaborate with them with the theory part, theoretical framework or conceptual framework, or the methodology or the research designs, what they're using. Then when you collaborate and share and discuss more, that would really help you. So we had nearly 3 or 4, I had nearly 3 or 4 friends who were always working together through the group chat or maybe via Zoom all the time to help each other. And then the second advice that I would do is like be vulnerable to accept the critics from the peers, right? And classmates as they build your research. So the more you show your work to your peers and the professors and allowing them to critique your work. And I remember during my last year of my research, we had an opportunity to share our work. I think towards the end, those who were in the 800 class, we had a lot of opportunity to share the mock presentations. So every time I gave the presentation, something else was coming. I do remember Dr. Williams was talking about, hey, you are having this picture, make sure that it has a copyright, or you tweak so that it can be a conceptual framework. So that opened up my eye. Okay, so I should be very careful about it. It might be very small things which may be missed out during the process of your research. So the more you open up, the more you talk about your work with the others, that will really help you. The third point that I want to make is like I said before, expand your network outside your circle. So within your institution, yes, it's important, but also not just here, not just Southern University, but also see what the other researchers are doing around the world. And one of the examples that I can give was the ResearchGate. I think probably some of you might be part of this network. And there are like thousands and hundreds of researchers who are posting their work already, right? You can request them to share their work, which might be related to your work, and then you can message them. It's kind of like Facebook. There are several other websites like this, which can really help you to network with the researchers outside the world, around the world. And also make a habit of sharing your ongoing work with the others and get the feedback. And then the third point that I want to talk about is like the use of technology. My personal experience was, as far as the references are concerned, I was like literally doing manually. I'm talking back in 2019. I was like literally doing the in-text, citations manually, like one after the other, even the references. One of my professors taught me, okay, you can use this Mendeley reference manager. And even though I knew about it, but I didn't know how to use it, so I went to the YouTube and researched more on this. And then I finally realized that it can be integrated within Word, so that will help you to bring your in-text citations and also the references just with one click. I was so amazed how the technology is really helping to move forward with your research work successfully. So the Mendeley software really helped me. And then another technology tool that I used was the stat layer. That helped me to find out the appropriate statistical methods. I love numbers. I'm a quantitative research person. So, but even though I love numbers, at times I had the doubts whether I'm following the right statistical method. So that website, StatLayer, was helping me really to just put like how many independent variables, and then that's all I had to do. And then it really filtered down the statistical method that I can use. And then it helped me to teach the methods and know how I should put it on the SPSS software. And then the third thing, which I'm still using, is the OneNote, Microsoft OneNote. It really helped me because it's kind of like a digital binder. You can create a lot of sections and pages and whatnot. You can take the pictures whenever you are attending any conferences. When some of your peers and classmates are giving their presentation, you can take the notes right there using the Apple Pencil. So if you're not aware of OneNote, you can use that. I was also using Google Keep for some time to take the notes. I know some of you may like to take the notes on the paper, but I would highly suggest use the digital tools, the digital note taker, because anytime you're going in the car or maybe somewhere you're traveling and you may not have the same diary that you've been using, but you and you can open the OneNote and take the notes right there. The big difference, I know Apple has its own note, but this really helped me to put the subsections so I can see all of them in one place. And then Grammarly, it really helped me to find the similarity percentages, and also within Word, I don't know how many of you are aware, the editor will also help you to find the similarity percentages. The fourth major thing that I want to talk about is like the ethical guidelines. I know we have a lot of AI research, AI tools coming up every single day. A lot of AI tools keep coming. And as researchers, we must be very careful about using those tools. I don't know much about machine learning. I know it starts with the Python programming or machine learning, whatnot. But we are not still sure how accurate they are. There are several school districts coming up with a lot of guidelines, ethical guidelines, and how the students and learners should be using. But definitely in the research field, we have to be very careful of using. I think back in 23, I tried to look at some references, and those references were fake. And I was like, okay, can you give me the link? I asked the ChatGPT, okay, give me the link. And he said, sorry, it's just like sample references that I made based on the prompt that was given, okay? So make sure that you follow the ethical guidelines when you are using AI for your research. Don't just copy and paste. There is nothing wrong in using the AI resources to help you, but make sure you follow the ethical guidelines. The challenges, one of the things that I would share is like, do not hesitate. Don't think that this is not going to be possible, or there must be some procedure, this or that. Always reach out to the people. One of the best examples that I can give is like, during my research, the IRB process, I was thinking, okay, whenever I was talking with my colleagues or classmates, it took 2 months, 1 month. And I was always hesitating, okay, I don't think I can finish in this semester, so I have to wait for another semester. That's what I was thinking. And also, I had to reach out to every single human being that I was planning to conduct the research, and the consent form, permissions, and I was really worried, but at the same time, I was like, just hesitating. And then when I reached out to Dr. Lawson and the other professors, okay, please send the information to us, and we will reach out to the committee chairperson. And it happened in just 2 weeks, by God's grace. So what I'm saying is like, don't think that it is not possible or it's not going to happen. Always, nothing bad is going to happen. Just reach out and see how you can seek the help from others. But after earning your graduate degree, I would like to share 4 points with you. I think one of them I already shared with you. Don't stop reading, and continue reading. Make a habit of at least 20 minutes every day or 15 minutes every day. If you are planning to be in the research field, okay, if you're planning to go to a different field, that's a totally different story. But if you're planning to be in the research field, it is very important that you read the articles and making sure that you work towards publishing on articles, right? Which I did not do during my PhD because I was heavily focusing on writing my own work. But since you all are graduating, still you are in the college, I encourage you to attend the conferences, try to publish, set a target. Okay, I want to publish at least 2 articles before I graduate, okay? Find out the appropriate conferences, keep searching, and the conferences on Google and see which conferences will suit your field. Make sure that you attend those. And now, I think after the pandemic, there are several virtual conferences which you can attend. You don't have to really go. I think NCTM is conducting some virtual conferences now. So the whole scenario has changed after the pandemic. So I encourage all of you to attend the virtual conference, which will really build your resume. When you apply for jobs or any other career field. And share your work with the database. That is something I recently figured out. Even though my work was already published on ProQuest, I've been asking people, how I can make it appear on Google Scholar or here or there. So I think if you want your work to be cited, make sure that your work is available on several databases. That is very important, and find out the appropriate databases related to your work and make sure that you publish them. And and then keep expanding the network, which I already shared with all of you. I'm just remembered of Mahatma Gandhi's quote: "Be the change you wish to see in the world." Right. So there will be a lot of challenges, I know, when you are pursuing your PhD journey or your graduate journey. Make sure that you embrace the challenges and be the change and be the champions of the progress and change the world. Once again, I thank all of you. I wish all the graduates and all the researchers and all the presenters who are presenting in this symposium the best and towards their research endeavors. And I thank the symposium organizers and Dr. Lawson and the other professors for giving me this opportunity to share my small experience with all of you.
Questions for Dr. John-Paul? Anybody have any questions?
You think it's really better for students to take notes on the electronic device rather than write it by hand, in which case they have to process it and leave?
I'm sorry, say it again. I heard something about notes.
Your suggestion about taking notes using technology versus by hand, which requires the process, students to process the information. I always suggest that students use the by hand method because it leads to a better comprehension. Even though you're right, later they can't recall the information as easily as I could if I typed it in.
Yes, I agree with you.
I've been using a disorganized word processing folder instead of an EndNote, for years, and it's very complicated, that system.
Okay, so you prefer the paper method?
No, I mean not for taking references, but
Taking the notes?
Yes, because you don't have to refer to your notes ever. It's the process of writing the note that makes you understand the material.
Gotcha. I did, yeah. I would not deny the fact that that I had the paper notes. Yes, I did have the handwritten notes. At times you may not be able to look at the technology all the time. Yes, it's better to have the written notes.
Yeah.
But as far as the references are concerned, technology really helped me
Yeah.
to,
Yeah, I wish I had EndNote already set up.
Okay, so next question, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. This is Dr. Jason Son. I'm working as an associate professor in the criminal justice department. I look at your regression table. This is very interesting. The time span has negative effect. So what I'm looking at that, and then I experienced through my mentoring graduate students as well. Time itself has a quality. So just because you spend 10 hours, it does not mean you focus on those 10 hours. You may focus on 5 minutes. That's why probably what has negative, relationship with your definite variable. And then what I thought is that you have only 2 predictors, and then if you put some kind of personality, some people are very, focused or like very A-type person, and then they cannot focus on personality measures would be much more interesting. I mean, very good research presentation, and I like your suggestion, everything about how we handle with this AI world. But I thought that when I look at the regression table, there will be some other predictors based on for individual factors. Maybe male, female, or they have male dependent or personality type. Would have also effect on your different variable.
Which I have mentioned in my recommendation.
Yes.
For the
Yes.
future work.
Yes.
It is just what I presented, just like one question. I had 3 questions with my, in my research, but I just presented one because I don't want to take your time, the other presenter's time. Yes, I agree with you. There are several factors. Like I said, the time spent within the classroom has a lot of other factors. Probably the feedback that they're getting from the teachers or the assistance that they're getting from the peers will help them to quickly complete the lessons.
Yeah, what I thought is that rather than quantitative time, maybe you have to look at the quality time.
Yep.
Yeah, how much you focus on really,
Exactly.
even though like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank
for
you.
your
Good wisdom.
Next question?
comment. Yes, sir.
How do I call you? Because I see a lot of
John-Paul.
Okay, thank you. That was a great presentation. And congratulations. I followed your presentation with much enthusiasm. And I wanted to share with you some things I found in the presentation that you already have there. One was a negative. You actually presented it at the end, and you encouraged students to present their work at conferences. I think that on the part of your network presentation where you take peer-to-peer creating, another aspect will be for people to attend peer-to-peer conferences where they get peer-to-peer evaluations as they're typically expert. So that information you have on that other side, I think that you should modify it and add it to the that presentation because that's clear. And then another thing that I want to point out is you inform students to go to those free softwares, managers like Mendeley and so on. If this university had free EndNote system, you would have done much better research and provide your references for you. Another thing is that the faculties and administrators here need to understand that providing the tools for the graduate students will encourage productivity in the graduate students. And EndNote is something that our university need to get. And also another one with your IRB, there is also a challenge that many students are facing, especially those who are doing translational research. We have to get a strong institutional review board for both animal and human clinical studies. That will hasten research and encourage graduate students to fast track. They have only short time to do their research and they have to generate data, they have to publish, and this publication have to be critiqued. It takes 6 months, 3 months sometimes to get publication. So one thing I didn't hear you talk to the administration who are here is that challenging, and that is some of the problem you faced at the beginning. Because you needed to get the literature and the tools you provided for students are software free. So what do you think about EndNote? If the university gives us EndNote, will the student productivity increase drastically?
Yeah, as far as it increases the productivity and if it increases the time on the other things, definitely I will use it. It doesn't matter whether it's EndNote or Mendeley. I think another one I forgot. But the thing is, like, I wasted a lot of time during my first year of research on writing down the references, putting in text citation, focusing on all the formatting things. But if you use the technology, whether EndNote or Mendeley software, it will make your job easier.
Conference attendance also, early on and before the end of graduate studies. You should get support from the university to send graduate students to specialize and targeted conferences. That's where you get really critical about the work and get feedback on how to grow and expand your research team.
Exactly, and don't wait. Don't wait until the 3rd year or 2nd year of your journey to make something happen. You can start in the 1st year itself. I mean, focus on the topic. Like I said before, start with the problem. What are the pressing issues in the field, and how it's going to make an impact on society? And then frame the research question based on the problem statement. And do not wait until the 3rd year. I was always thinking I have to finish these major courses, and then I was thinking about the structural, structure of the program. I have to go this. No, always you can start early. Don't wait until the 2nd year or 3rd year or 4th year for something to happen. Yes,
This
ma'am.
is not a question, it's a comment
Yes,
about your
ma'am.
presentation. I really like the fact you incorporated ethics nowadays in academics and then also using the AI.
Mhm.
I see a lot of problem. It is very gray area
Mhm.
regarding the morality and ethics, in academics also using this lot of technology. So I really like